Happy Thursday, everybody. Scott Beebe here with Business on Purpose. A little unusual for us to be doing a Facebook Live of this sort on a Thursday, but this was Memorial Day week, and so we wanted to make sure that we had a chance to kind of power down, wanted to give you a chance to power down, didn't want to gum up the Facebook airways or email airways with a bunch of stuff for you. Wanted you, and hopefully you were able to enjoy that. Hey, a couple things real quick. We have got a very special webinar coming up here in the next couple of weeks called How to Stop Putting Out Fires. We're going to dive into business systems and ask this question. What would happen if you could leave your business for 31 days? So we're going to walk through how to build systems that make time for what matters most. Make sure to go to bopwebinar.com. It's totally free. It's going to I believe it's Tuesday, June 9th is going to be the day of the webinar, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, and it's open to all business owners. So make sure that you sign up for that, totally free. Again, bopwebinar.com. We're going to be answering that question. How do we stop putting out fires? And then also figuring out, how could you leave your business for 31 days? Hey, the latest headline declares business closures surge by 200%. And so we're looking at this going, oh my gosh, is that true? Well, this was a headline in a major international newspaper. Business closures surged by 200%. We've all experienced this kind of, I'll call it force majeure. It's a cool word I heard a lawyer use the other day and thought I'd give it a shot with you here just for a few minutes. We've faced this force majeure of sorts in the last couple of months. It's kind of this act of God that has provided a mixed bag of emotion. And I looked up the definition of stress because I feel like that's what many people have been under. And the raw definition of stress is the pressure or tension imposed on an object, a pressure or a tension imposed on an object. Our families, our relationships, our society, our businesses have all endured this level of stress, both seen and unseen. I'm sure many of you have had moments where you're just like, oh my gosh, I am exhausted. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the day where you've never done this before, you just kind of laid down and you're like, I can't hold my eyes open. I'm physically and emotionally so exhausted. So we've had this emotional stress, spiritual stress, intellectual stress, relational stress. And so if I may, for just a moment, for just a second, I want to expose a rare and very valuable gift in the midst of this unexpected stress. So to be clear, I do not enjoy stress. I'm not begging for more stress in my life. But what I am trying to do is find some hope and value in the midst of stress's sticky grip. And so recently I challenged a group of young men to a push-up challenge, right? And although I wasn't a contestant in their push-up challenge, I nonetheless decided to test my middle-aged mettle and rep out a few reps of push-ups, albeit very, very slowly. Wow. Let's just say this. I used to be able to do a lot more push-ups a lot faster. So what I did with the push-ups is I put manufactured stress on my arms and on my chest, which revealed areas that I could choose to focus on and develop so that they would come a little bit stronger. Or I could ignore the feedback and continue to be exposed to the liability of weakening arms and weakening chest muscles and all those sorts of things. But the manufactured stress, what it did for me is it provided for me real-time, truthful, unbiased feedback. There was no need for me, and you can do this, there's nothing wrong with this, but there was no need for me in that moment to sign up for a year-long CrossFit membership and grind it out 7 days a week just to find the weak areas of my body. A simple push-up exercise in the midst of some really strong teenage young men told me exactly what I needed to know. This small measure of manufactured stress showed me the weak areas of where I'm at in my own physical nature. And so good news is, since that workout, I have shored up the weakened muscles, and I now bench press over 600 pounds. I'm teasing. I don't do that. You know, cardiologists do this all the time with their heart patients. The patient is dressed with multiple electrode receivers, allowing the machine to collect feedback while the body walks or runs on a treadmill. And the manufactured stress of that treadmill forces the body to react, and that reaction reveals areas of both strengths and weaknesses. Now, all the cardiologist has to do is diagnose, prescribe, and prognose, and the patient is left with the long task of implementation. So I want you to take this into your business. Each of our businesses need to hop on the manufactured treadmill a couple of times a year to endure some light, controlled, manufactured stress. As owners and coaches, we've got to listen. We've got to diagnose. We've got to prescribe. We've got to prognose. And then we've got to implement, just like the cardiologist. So here are a few business treadmills that can be deployed that will provide you with some valuable feedback. So this is manufactured stress that you can apply to your business where you don't have to wait for the next pandemic. You can go ahead and do this a couple of times a year. The first one is one we have seen huge success in, and that's when business owners are willing to go subdivide their bank accounts. And subdividing bank accounts is a foundational element that will show you a real-time cash position in your business. Most businesses we coach have at least 5 bank accounts that they actively use and operate for their businesses. In fact, the majority of businesses we coach right now, if you were to call them, could tell you to the penny how much in cash profit they have, how much they have to pay their taxes, how much they have in operating expense, to the penny. They could tell you that right now because they've subdivided their bank account. So that's the first thing. The second thing, and this artificial stress that you can apply to your business so you don't have to wait for a pandemic, is what we call an ABC dashboard. Here in our vernacular, we actually call it a level 2 dashboard. And you're thinking, well, what's level 1? Well, it's the subdivision of your bank accounts. So when you go into your online banking system, you've got your accounts subdivided. That's your level 1 dashboard. That's a great dashboard for you to see your real-time cash position. But your level 2 dashboard is vital to your business. It's a simple spreadsheet. It's updated once per week, and it tracks 3 major areas of the business. Your ABCs, accounts, and that's your cash accounts, so whatever's in your bank. B, for bookkeeping. That's your receivables, payables, keeping track of those. And then C, for customers. You're tracking things like leads from the website or podcast downloads or number of things we've sold or mailers that we sent out. Whatever those things are, you're starting to track those in A, B, C. Accounts, bookkeeping, and customers. And of the hundreds of business owners that we have seen implement these first 2 stressors, subdivision of bank accounts and the ABC, the level 2 dashboard, there has not been one business owner, we're going on 6 years now, who has ever come back to us and said, wow, I wish I would have never done that. It's made my world so much more complicated. That's never happened. Not one time. So now I can hear some of you saying, well, but my business is a little different, Scott. No, it's not. It's just not. I love you. I appreciate you, but your business is not different. We've worked with businesses around the world in all different industry types, across sectors, and they're basically all the same when it comes to this. Now, there is a third stressor that you can apply. It takes more work, but it is a powerful stressor that many of our clients have been implementing here over the last couple of years, and it's called the Master Process Roadmap. I want you to imagine all of your business systems and processes mapped out on one sheet of paper. I read this in a blog post the other day from Seth Godin. He said, hey, we are buying the process from you, not necessarily what you're making. In other words, we're buying your process and not necessarily your product, because I don't mean to offend you, but your product is a commodity. Listen, we're business coaches. There's a lot of business coaches out there. So what makes us unique versus the other business coaches out there? It's our process. It's the system we bring people through, that installation roadmap, implementation roadmap. We take you from front to back, top to bottom. Your process is your product. I want you to remember that. Your process is your product. Your product, ice cream, custom homes, hairstyling, engineering services, those are commodities. A useful thing that can be bought and sold, but the process behind the product is what makes you unique. It's why I preferred Pal's Sudden Service over just about any other fast food place. Go look them up. Google them. Pal's, P-A-L-S, Sudden Service. I prefer them. Now, their hamburgers, fries, and shakes may be marginally better or worse than the rest, but their process is remarkable. So your master process roadmap allows you to visually see the strengths and weaknesses in the body of your business at any time that you put them there. And so it's an incredible opportunity for you to be able to see the weak parts of your business so you can begin to work on those. So you can choose to wake up each morning and guess, I wonder if my business could survive the next storm, because that next one's coming. It's brewing somewhere. Or you can embrace the manufactured stress, subdividing your bank accounts, creating that level 2 dashboard, tracking those accounts and bookkeeping and customers, or that master process roadmap. And if you begin to embrace that, there is no competition to a well-run business. I'm going to put that up on the screen for those of you watching on Facebook Live or YouTube. There is no competition to a well-run business. There could be 10 HVAC companies in your local area, but you have no competition when you are a well-run business. All right? So I want you to take that to heart. I want you to live that out. And if you want to start to ask yourself, how could I leave my business for 31 days, building systems to make time for what matters most? Hey, come join us June 9th. We're going to be right there on the webinars talking about how to stop putting out fires. And all you've got to do is go to bopwebinar.com, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, Tuesday, June 9th. And if you've ever been on one of our webinars, you know we roll up our sleeves and we give away the secret sauce. We hold nothing back, and we won't hold anything back on that time there. bopwebinar.com. Everybody have a great week.